The views expressed on the following broadcasts do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT, Take 12 Radio, or our affiliates. The opinions on this show should not be considered as medical, psychological, or professional advice and are those of the host, co-host, and guest. Take 12 Radio and KHLT Recovery Broadcasting are not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship.
Here we go.
Fills your brain, and the world seems a little too insane. Just twist that dial, don't hesitate. There's a haven where good vibes await. Tune in and Take 12 for some joy and cheer. It's the sound of hope coming in crystal clear. Recovery talk, the music so grand, a beacon of light, a helping hand.
Well, welcome aboard, one and all, to another fine episode of the world's oldest and original recovery talk and recovery music radio station and podcast with Roger McDermott, Dion Miller, our intern, Kat, is joining us, and guest co-host, Jack McCann.
Howdy, all.
All together here to talk about feeling alone in the crowd. And of course, joining us is the Make-Believe Take 12 Recovery Radio Orchestra. And we got our coffee cups. At least Roger and I do.
Yeah, you won't give anybody else any.
I'm out of them.
Make more.
Make more. Yeah, and we got, of course, a weekly wine. Just a delightful weekly wine.
Weekly?
Daily, every minute.
Yep.
All right, hold on to your recovery horses. We're going for a ride. What?
Watching Ben.
Roger's got, what are you drinking, tea?
Yes, tea, hot tea.
That's what I should be drinking.
Out of one of those nice mugs that you gave him that you won't give nobody else.
I'm out of them. They're just expensive.
Wine some more.
Another wine.
Yep.
It's supposed to be a train whistle, but it does not sound like a train.
It doesn't.
Does it
Sounds
sound
like a broken piccolo.
Looks like a block of wood.
It looks like a block of
How the
wood.
heck is everybody? Hey, Kat is joining us. Because I thought it would be a good idea for her to experience participating in the show as a guest of the show. So, Kat, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Welcome, Kat.
Appreciated.
Welcome.
You'll never be the same.
So, Kat has helped us to. She's taught me some things about marketing this Take 12 Recovery Radio thing a little bit, and doing things like certain kind of tags and links and all that kind of stuff that I didn't know about. So that's been very helpful. And now she's on the show as a guest. What do you feel? How do you feel about this? About coming on as somebody that is going to participate in the topic?
Well, I really love talking on a mic and things like that. So
Yeah, because this is what you want to do is broadcasting, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So you got the voice for it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, some people, especially ladies, can be real soft spoken.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get them to project, right? You got to crank up the microphone all the way. But Kat, you have no problem. You got a great radio voice. What are you going on about, Jack, over there?
I'm just hand motioning, dude. Chill out. Quit whining over there so much.
Well,
I was going to say if she only spoke from her diaphragm, you know.
Yes. She projected her inner voice. Her inner voice came forth.
There you go.
oh my goodness sakes.
You feel like you're being ganged up on, Monty?
Stop right there.
Uh-oh.
Time for Man's Weekly Wine.
Complain and whine, you're the Monty Man. And we know how you love to complain. There's always something to whine about. As each week you drive us insane. That's right, everybody. It's that time again for Monty Man's Weekly Wine.
Okay, so we live on our house is on a corner, and corners are great for property value, and you get larger pieces on your lot and things like that. You could do a lot as far as a landscape goes. That you've got more room to do, but it also has some drawbacks. Depending on the neighborhood that you live in, our house is kind of out of place in our neighborhood. Because our neighborhood is a little sketchy, I should put it that way. But we have a walkway that comes up from the street. There's no sidewalk in this neighborhood that comes up from the street, partway up to a ramp that goes up to our front door. But before it gets to the ramp, the walk veers off to the left. Not on the street, but closer to the house, there's a private walkway that goes around the house and empties out into the driveway, right? And I'm sitting in my very comfortable chair, and I'm watching something healthy, I'm sure, like The Summer I Turned Pretty or something like that. And I'm watching this show, and there's this couple walking by my window. And I'm like, and they're on their phones.
I didn't even know.
And I mean, they're this far from the window. They're on our sidewalk. Right? And I'm like, what the heck? A few days later, somebody's walking his dog. Right on the walkway, right next to our window. And I'm like, wow, this is weird. But then, and I don't mind that too much, but the guys that walk their dogs seem to think that it is okay to poop in our yard.
The guys or the dog?
The guys and the dog. To poop and may I just say, urinate in our yard on the corner. This is one of the drawbacks of a corner, right? So they're walking the dog stops, walks up onto the gravel corner. We have a decorative corner, and poops in the rocks. And the guy or the gal, depending on the day, just stands there on their phone waiting for the dog to quit pooping. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? So we aren't lucky enough. Some cities have them, but we're not lucky enough to have poles that have doggy bag thingies, poop bags, on every corner. So, there are people, I know people that own pets that carry the poop bag in their pocket when they go for a walk. They're responsible dog owners, right? But not here. Oh, no, no, no. So I thought I'd look into this a little bit. Check this out.
It ain't crap. It ain't poop. It's dog.
Joe McElroy is mad as heck, and he's not going to take it anymore. When dog owners in his Ocoee neighborhood failed to scoop the poop left in his front yard, he posted a sign that read, "If you let your dog blank in my yard, I will find you, and your little dog too. P.S. New cameras. Smile."
If they're offended by that's just too bad, as far as I'm concerned. Because that's exactly what they leave on my lawn, dog.
Now, just when we thought things were getting a little deep, right around the corner we found a neighbor with the same stinky concern. I won't let my dog crap in your yard. I'd have more respect for you.
Seemed like they walked the dog from their house and anybody else's lawn, you know, they just don't care.
Needless to say, we got no confessions to the crime, so to speak. We did, however, see some evidence. Neighbors we talked to, pet owners and non-pet owners alike, say Joe has a right to free speech and a right to be free of dog poop. Joe says there's no excuse. Dog bags are available right around the corner. Joe says when his old sign faded, he replaced it with a kinder, gentler version.
This time I thought, well, I'll try to be a little bit nicer and see if they catch the hint, but they don't.
Now, Joe has installed a couple of cameras on his property. His goal is to turn people over to animal services because this actually can cost you money. The first time you get a warning, the second offense you get an $84 fine, the third offense a $162 fine, and the fourth time you're caught, it could cost you $265.
Yeah.
As it should.
Yeah.
That's what the dogs do.
I know. Come on, people.
Put up a fence, Mom. You put up a fence.
This isn't much
Electric fence on the outside and cameras.
The
Put
idea
cameras up,
that-
Monty.
The idea
We
that
do have
some
cameras
people,
up. We
would
have
be
cameras all
offended.
over our property. What'd you say, Kat?
Oh, the idea that somebody would be offended by the sign when they're guilty of leaving.
I know, right?
I live out in the country. I take care of it the other old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the dog's fault. It's the dog owner's fault.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's not
It's
the dog's
both.
fault.
It's not the dog's fault. They're just doing what it comes naturally to them. The owner is not training them properly, or they're not taking responsibility, and they're being a poo-poo head.
They've been trained very well to crap in somebody else's yard.
That's
it's
right.
like trying to train that cat how to crap in your neighbor's yard. Grumpy Old Man, do you not remember that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Oh, my gosh. So do you ever have this problem, Roger? Do you have any animals that poop or pee in your yard?
Occasionally, our neighborhood's Our neighborhood's really pretty good about that. I really think, to be honest with you, when I see the residual poop on the lawn, it could be someone that I know, and that is maybe part of the family that doesn't clean up afterwards.
The poop is someone that you know.
No, the poop is the poop is somebody that I know that has a dog and they failed to clean it up, and they're part of the family. They just think that grandpa will take care of it.
Yeah. It was Grandpa.
Yeah, it wasn't Grandpa. Yeah,
somebody who knew.
My mother-in-law had a can with rocks in it, and when the cats would come and poop in her yard, she'd run outside and shake the can, rattle it, scare them away. I don't think it helped much. Well, there you go. There's the private walkway. I don't know. My sister-in-law says you need to get a sign that says private walkway, no trespassing. Signs don't help. Yes, they do. No, they don't.
Well, if somebody's staring at their phone, they don't.
Well, if it's got a gate and a fence, they can't come in.
Well, the gate. See, now that's the solution. That was the number one solution that was offered on YouTube, was put a fence up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that costs a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Fences aren't cheap.
True.
Right? And but what can you say?
You do nice and cheap. Just put one gate right there in front of it. You don't have to build a whole fence. Just put a gate in front of the walkway.
That's true.
Yeah, but just go around the gate. I mean, a gate all by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would look stupid though.
We'll take a look at it when I get ready to leave.
There you go.
I like the idea of one of those, electric shock thingies.
That's
exactly.
Yeah, that sounds a lot.
How are you
going
to get them to wear the electric necklace band when you?
Yeah, that's a good point. All right. We'll be back with the topic feeling alone in the crowd. Listen to this.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
This is Jim W. here in Nashville, Tennessee, and we're listening to the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show with the Monty Man.
Hey there, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's show, a production of the world's oldest recovery talk and recovery music radio station, Take 12 Recovery Radio. But did you know that we have thousands of archive shows, recovery workshops, and recovery music, all available for you for fun and for free? So here's an idea. Right after this show, visit our website at take12radio.com and subscribe on any of the podcasting platforms listed there. Why not begin enjoying the best in recovery talk and recovery music, all at take12radio.com on your internet dial.
This is Justin White, and you are listening to the recovery talk and positive music of Take 12 Recovery Radio.
Yeah, baby. Thanks, Justin. That's the Friends of Distinction with their song Grazing in the Grass. I heard that the other day on the radio. I was like, oh my gosh. Those are songs that are just awesome that you just don't hear anymore. And, you know, they come on and it's like, oh, I got to grab that soundbite. Got to grab it. Grazing in the Grass.
It's terrific.
Yeah. It's a dig it, blah, 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 blah. You can't even do it. Dig it. All right, this is a little sound clip from Neufeld Health. Listen to this. This is very interesting.
45% of people admit to feeling lonely at least some of the time, and 1 in 8 adults report having no close friends. Loneliness can affect anyone at any time. Often, it's triggered by a life event, retirement, divorce, illness, or even losing a loved one. But even seemingly positive events like having a baby, moving home, or starting a new job can leave you feeling lonely. But what is loneliness? As deeply social animals, most of us will feel the need to be around other people on a daily basis, and if we don't, we can risk feeling isolated. But it's possible to feel lonely even when we're surrounded by a room full of other people, or we have 1,000 or so friends on social media. Because it's not just about solitude. It's about our perception of belonging and having meaningful relationships with other people. Having a small number of strong social bonds is much more important than having a large number of superficial friendships. Loneliness can take a huge toll on our mental health, increasing risk of anxiety and depression. And because persistent loneliness can increase our levels of stress hormones and lead to overeating, it can have an impact on our cardiovascular function and immune system. In fact, research has shown that loneliness can be more damaging than obesity or smoking, increasing our likelihood of early death by around 26%.
Wow, increasing the possibility of early death by 26%. So I wonder, people will say, well, I'm an introvert, and I really don't like people.
Even introverts need to have close friends.
Exactly.
I'm an introvert and I have friends.
Do you like people for the most part?
I like people. I just also like having alone time.
Yeah, you like your alone time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jack, what about you? Are you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
Kind of. Sometimes it's both.
Little of both?
It depends on the setting. Like, I enjoy my time alone at home, and I can spend 2 or 3 days without seeing anybody, talking to anybody, because I keep busy. And then when I want to socialize, I'll go do a meeting or go visit family on occasion when those things happen.
Yeah.
And when I'm out in the workforce, I got 1,200 other people that I got to deal with. So.
Yeah.
And then you get to go in the stores. I mean, it all depends on the context of where you want to be at in life. And for the most part, I like people, but I hate them all equally.
Dion Miller, give us your website real quick.
Trudgingtogether.org. We're doing a update on it soon, so here in the next couple of weeks we'll kind of have a new look. You'll be able to book sessions, 30-minute and 60-minute sessions with me. Got a new book coming out, new workbook, so a lot of great stuff coming out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Trudgingtogether.org. Visit his website. You will not feel lonely.
No, you will not.
Hanging out with Dion. Dion, what about you? Do you consider yourself an extrovert or an introvert, or do you say poo-poo on titles?
It's weird. Growing up, I was kind of shy. I just didn't have that many friends, and alcohol kind of changed that. But I became extrovert by choice, right? So I had to work on becoming extroverted. And so what I did when I was 17 is I decided to challenge myself, and the challenge was this: that I had to make one person a day laugh, and I made one rule for it. And the rule was it can never be the same person twice. So after 30, 45 days, you run out of family and friends. Then you have to get out of yourself and make, may you go buy a pack of gum or something. You have to make the person at the register at least smile or something. So that was a challenge that I did for myself to kind of be more social. So I would say I'm extroverted with pockets of shyness.
Yeah, pockets of shyness. Roger, what about you? I mean, I can tell you what I think you are.
Oh, no, we don't want to do that on the air, Monty. Let's keep that till later. We'll have a one-on-one session. I don't know that I've ever thought of myself as an introvert. I'm pretty much a people person. But I mean, I'm perfectly comfortable when I want to be quiet time or be alone with God or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I don't know that I label myself either or. But I like people in general. I have lots of friends, the fellowship, the church. I do a lot of speaking, and I've been in sales for over 50 years. So you kind of have to be something other than an introvert. Introvert's always been a weird word to me, so I don't call myself an introvert.
Yeah. So I think that I've learned to, I don't know if it's a learning thing or just a phase of life that just came upon me, but I appreciate, kind of like you, Jack, I appreciate my alone time.
Mm-hmm.
I used to make fun of our buddy Denver, who co-hosted this show for many years, who went on to be with the Lord here not long ago. Denver would say he'd much rather be alone than be around people. And he was perfectly content being alone. And I used to wonder if that was just something he said. Did he really mean it? And the more I got to know him, he really meant it. Yeah. And I found myself appreciating my alone time more than I ever have, particularly when I'm out on my porch and I'm thinking about God, and I'm thinking about friends and how fortunate I am, and how good how God has been so good to us. Kind of meditating on that. I do that better when I'm alone, than sharing in a group. But I love to be around people. But breaking through that first initial pocket of shyness, if you will.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like in a new situation, I'm very uncomfortable in brand new situations where I know no one.
Okay.
I want to get through that wall to the next phase of at least becoming positive acquaintances really quickly, because I don't like, the unfamiliarity of the room or whatever. When we first started going to our house church, our life group, or whatever you want to call it, our small group, I didn't know anybody there, and I didn't like it. But they really did an awesome job of making me feel comfortable, And they did it they just did it. That's just who they were. They weren't trying to. They were just very welcoming and engaging. And it didn't take long before I really felt comfortable there. But I didn't like it in the beginning.
Don't you think that's normal, though, for all of us? I mean, that's normal. That's not an introvert. I don't think that's being introvert.
No. That's not introvert.
No.
That's just normal. But some people can push through that well. Other people, it's harder for them, so they'll avoid it completely. And that's too bad.
Well, it's kind of like this, getting in front of people and speaking and trying to carry on a conversation. It's very uncomfortable at first, and it's taken months to get to this point where I come in here and pick at you, and pick at Roger. But I took a class through work, and it was being comfortable while being uncomfortable, being in front of people, talking, speaking, carrying on a conversation, which has allowed me to do speaker meetings on occasion and put my fear aside, because trying to present this message of hope and inspiration that somebody's going to hear this, and maybe they'll walk away and say, I want what that man has, or I want what that lady has, because we shared something that, even though fear kind of like, oh, I don't want to do this, we stepped outside of that fear, and by the grace of God, I can do that now. And that's why I'm sitting here beside my friend and mentor and lifelong brother for many years doing this.
Yeah, right on. Kat, have you ever felt alone in a crowd?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Many times.
There's all sorts of people around you, and you're just like, I just don't belong here.
Yeah, I felt that way a lot when I lived in Colorado, because when I lived in Colorado, I moved there, and then my dad died, and then so I just felt really disconnected from everybody in Colorado, and so I felt really alone in every crowd.
Yeah. What about going out in public? Going grocery shopping or something like that. Are you guys people watchers? Any of you?
Oh, I love people watching.
No, I didn't have. I really haven't many friends growing up, so I was a people watcher, I've always found the patterns of people very, very interesting. Now, there's been times in my life where, we could have, and this would have been while I was drinking. We could have Celebrate Dion Day. We could fill up Mile High Stadium and yay Dion, and we love Dion. And I would feel absolutely, totally alone because I knew I didn't deserve it.
Wow.
I knew there wasn't anything, Now I decompress every day. I decompress for about 2 hours, but that doesn't really have to do with people as much as my empathy, because I take on a lot during the day. So I do enjoy my alone time for sure. But now that I have God in my life, I'm never alone. I'm never alone anymore.
Amen, brother.
Yeah. If you filled up a stadium and it was Celebrate Monty Day, I wouldn't feel uncomfortable a bit.
Now?
No, you wouldn't.
In fact, let's do that, okay, guys? Let's do that.
Roger, you're in charge.
Oh, no, I'm not in charge. No.
What's that place in New York, or that stadium that huge stadium in New York? What's it called? Oh, Madison Square Garden.
Madison, yeah.
Is that New York?
That's an arena.
Yeah.
That's not a stadium. That's an arena.
Yeah, stadium.
Okay, well, Madison Square Garden will work.
Oh, where Led Zeppelin was at?
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, Monty Day. We got a Monty Day, Dion Day, Roger Day, Cat Day, Jack Day. We could all have our days there.
Carnegie Hall. Ooh.
I'm all for going to New York for Cat Day.
For Cat Day. Meow. As long as they don't pee in your yard.
There's no yards in New York City.
Concrete jungle, brother.
Right. What about rubbing shoulders with people that don't want to rub shoulders with you? I mean, what about people that people that don't like to be around other people, and you want to encourage them, and you wonder, is that really what's going on, or is there something deeper? Is there some harm or hurt or trauma or something? Trauma's become kind of a buzzword anymore, and it's kind of thrown around a lot. But there is some truth to it. I mean, people experience what they experience. but how can we encourage people to be more people friendly?
You mentioned that the people in your church group were really welcoming, and I've always found church groups to be really welcoming, and I think one way to break people out of their shell is to be like the people in those church groups.
Yeah. So we hear a lot of times people say, well, I don't like going to church because nobody talks to me. Right? You know what? I got to tell you, I mean, maybe that's true somewhere, but every church I've ever gone to or visited, it's like there's too many people coming up.
Yep.
It's like, here's a bulletin, here's a bulletin, here's a bulletin. Welcome. Oh, we're so glad you're here. But I'm like,
Almost like a bunch of car salesmen. Hi, what can we sell you now?
My son is worship pastor. It's called United. And I mean, you pull up to so they meet at the community college because they're so big, they have to have an auditorium. They meet at the community college. And you're in the parking lot and there's a pop-up tent and there's people there. There's a big pathway to the front of the building, and there's people all lined up there. You get past the doors, there's a bunch of people there, and coffee and, everything. I mean, they're everywhere, and they are so, legitimately happy to see you. Yeah. And I asked Colin, I said, how is that? He said, Dad, because most of them are in their first 3 years of their newfound faith in God. Mm-hmm. And they're excited and they have a passion for it. And I heard this phrase the other day, when did my childlike faith grow up? Mm-hmm. I think we need to return to that childlike faith in some of the areas of our life and reclaim our actions and so forth. But I've just been so impressed. Most of the churches I've been to have been very, very friendly. Yeah. And I had to work hard not to associate with people. It hasn't been that way so much with the 12-step rooms. I've had to work at it a little bit to get people to engage, right? Of course, I don't have that problem in my home group because it's my home group, But we've kind of, see what you guys think, and I'll start with you, Dion. If you were to go to your average 12-step meeting, whether it was AA or NA or Celebrate Recovery, do you think that you would be greeted most of the time, or do you think we've kind of lost that?
I feel like we've kind of lost it. There are certain things, we used to be all inclusive, and we need to find reasons to say yes, but now it just seems like we're looking for reasons to say no. I know there was a big change made in AA, and it is who here is willing to sponsor, when the question is who here needs a sponsor. When I first came into AA, a sponsor was pretty much assigned to me. The first time I came into AA, I was surrounded by people at the end of the meeting, and they were clamoring. Now we're determining people's willingness, and at least for me, I've not found any directions in the big book that say, sit on your ass and wait for other people to approach you and ask for help. It's not anywhere in there. So in our home group, we ask, who here needs a sponsor? We're all inclusive, and we surround the newcomer. I would agree that it is up to the people who have found the solution to make the start in that case.
To make the approach? Yeah. Yeah, and in fact, back in the day, whatever that means. Yeah. Back in the day, I mean, they wouldn't even let you go to a meeting. They'd stop you at the door, and then they would talk to you for a few days. Yep. Because they didn't want you coming in there saying stuff that was going to derail what the meeting was supposed to be. So they wanted to know, kind of where you stood and how can they help you and that kind of thing. Roger, what do you think? Have we kind of lost that welcoming touch, or do we still have it?
I don't know that we can make a generalization about that. I think some meetings are very friendly and some aren't. And it's like, if you go to a meeting and you don't find them welcoming and friendly, well, the first thing we need to do is get up and be welcoming and friendly and approach the newcomers. And, rather than standing back and criticizing the fact that nobody's welcoming and and friendly,
So
it's like be friendly and welcoming and go meet the newcomer.
Yeah, you want a friend, be a friend, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm always challenged by the people who find certain meanings not good, and I go, well, how did you participate? What did you bring to the meeting? Oh, well, I didn't. Okay, well, there's the problem. If everybody sits and just listens and doesn't participate or have something to say that's positive and meaningful and program related and powerful, then what's the point of the meeting?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be the same thing with a Rotary Club meeting
or any meeting, church anywhere. Yeah. Why are we here? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to participate, or do you just want to be a observer? If we're just observers, then it's easy to find wrong.
Yeah. Well, I've been a taker all my life, and it's much more fulfilling to be a giver.
Jack, what about you? Do you think we still got that friendly, welcome aboard kind of thing going on, at least in this area?
It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I mean, there's meetings you walk into, and there's a heavy spirit in there, and there's not a lot of welcoming that goes on. And I've seen people walk in, not somebody doesn't welcome them. I mean, any newcomers here, and they won't raise their hand. But even myself, I didn't go up and say, hey, welcome.
Yeah.
So I fall short in that area. But I've seen other meetings where any newcomers here for the first time, and the hands go up, and they are engulfed later on during the meeting. I mean, the list goes around with names, numbers. Contact somebody here before you drink. Don't drink in between meetings. I want to see you after the meeting. Do you have a sponsor? I mean, kind of like when I sought out my sponsor.
Yeah, sure.
Said, hey, I need help. My other rental sponsor left me alone. I need help to figure this stuff out. And this man here that sits before me did such.
Yeah, I threw a rock at you.
And it hit. See that dent in the back of my head?
Yeah. So it's it's interesting because I've heard over the years I've heard a lot of people say, especially when they were celebrating a milestone, and then they would share and they would say, I remember so and so, and they sat by me, they poured me coffee, they talked to me. I was very uncomfortable. I didn't really know what to think of them, but I'm so grateful they just never gave up. They welcomed me. And I've heard more of that than I have of the negative. And I think even when a person doesn't respond, I mean, you're nice to them, and you thank you for being here, and they don't respond. It doesn't mean something deeply to them. They may not verbalize it yet, but don't give up.
Well, do you remember when you first came in 40 plus years ago? Some of us did the rewind, go out the door, come back in, and it was basically take the cotton out of your mouth, stick it in your ears, and sit down, shut up, and listen. Mm-hmm. That used to be the common.
I think it's take it out of your ears and shove it in your mouth.
That's what I said.
No, you went backwards.
Oh, okay. But that was the common theme back there. Come in, sit down, shut up, and listen.
Right.
And there needs to be some softness, because once we do that, there's a lot of folks that leave because I wasn't treated right. I'm going through a lot of crap. Mm-hmm. And this is how you want to treat me? I don't want to be part of that.
Yeah. When I came into the rooms, you could crush me with a word.
Yes.
I didn't need anybody to pat me on the butt, but I didn't need anybody to slap me in the face either.
Yes.
And I think just holding space for somebody is a big deal. Hey, I'm going to take my time. And this is the way I describe it: is I'm at Starbucks and I got my coffee, so I'm going up to get my sugar and creamer, and there's somebody there before me, and they're like sorry, like they were in my way, or say, and I don't no, take your time. You were here first, and just this encouragement of holding space for people. Even if we're just sitting next to them, just being there and taking our time, I think has a big effect on people and how comfortable they feel where they're at.
Good point. Do any of you think that people in general are frightened of intimacy?
Nah.
I am.
You are? But you're not, Jack.
I'm
yes. Intimacy means you're vulnerable, and it doesn't matter.
Oh, being vulnerable.
And it doesn't matter if it's the physical intimacy between a man and woman or whatever your preference is, but it's also the mental vulnerability, intimacy, the nonverbal, sitting beside somebody and you're sharing your story saying, hey, I have this problem. I'm an alcoholic. Yeah, they're going to be judgmental or they're not. Yeah. So you make yourself vulnerable. Intimacy.
Making yourself vulnerable. What do you think, Roger? Think people are afraid to be intimate? I'm not talking about...
I guess it depends on how you define intimate. I like the word vulnerable. I like being transparent.
I like that.
I like being transparent, and transparent's a transactional thing. Being vulnerable is free and open. And so I like being vulnerable. I don't have any reasons not to be vulnerable anymore. I don't have any secrets. In the context of recovery in life and church and family, I'm open. I'm open and I'm vulnerable. So
has it always been like that, though?
No, no, not even close.
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm running on self-will, I was never vulnerable because I was perfect and I knew everything, Monty.
Yeah.
So, you couldn't tell me anything, and I was a liar, cheat, and a thief. So, what was being? I mean, no. I mean, rigorous honesty did not run in my blood at all.
Yeah.
Neither did humility. I understood humiliation, but nothing about being humble.
Oh, good point.
Yeah. So, no, I didn't know anything about that, but I thought I was all those things. I had no concept of who I really was, to be honest.
Yeah. Kat, do you know who you are? Do you think?
I think I know some of who I am, but I'm always learning more about myself.
Yeah. But that's different than I've lost myself and I'm giving up, right?
Yeah.
I'm always learning more about myself.
I feel like since graduating college, I've learned a lot about myself really quickly.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, because you apply for jobs and the job market's really bad right now. So I learned a lot about like how I handle stress and so that's been an experience.
So I want to give you kudos here because it's hard to find a job, but you didn't just close the door and go sit on your couch.
Right.
You put feelers out there, right? And that's how we met, right? And you wanted to learn. And so while it's hard to get a job, while you're looking for a job, particularly in broadcasting, right? You're doing an intern thing. You're learning and you're willing to do that. Some people are just give up, or maybe they really don't want to do anything, but you got a desire to. Just the fact that just the fact you say, I'm still learning about myself, that is really good. And, since we met, you've showed up every Monday. I think it's kind of to speak to what Roger said about if you want to be, a friend, be a friend kind of thing.
Yep.
We got to do our part. And if we feel alone in the crowd, I think it's time, especially those of us in recovery, I think it's time for us to say, okay, why is that? Maybe I need to inventory that a little bit and kind of do an investigation. Why am I satisfied with that? If not, then there's some work to do. If I am, there's probably some work to do. It just depends on whether we're willing to do it or not.
Yes.
Thoughts? Ooh. The room went silent.
Well, stumped. I wouldn't mind talking about being vulnerable a little bit and covering that. Like Roger, I thought that I was being genuine, but that's the fallacy of an alcoholic brain. It wasn't until I went and did that fourth and fifth step, confronted my snakes, and went to God for forgiveness and some redemption, that I was able to go back and revisit. I'm happy to talk about my past and things in my past that maybe I've done wrong, to align with another person to help them understand that I know where they're coming from, because that's the biggest loneliness with alcoholics anyway, is we feel like nobody understands where we're coming from. So when we find that other person that does, we go from being dope dealers to hope dealers, and wow, what a neat thing to have. So I absolutely agree on being vulnerable with other people and utilizing that as a way to make them feel like they belong where they're at.
Yeah. I'll never forget when I was a student at a teen challenge center here in the Willamette Valley years ago. There was a staff member there named Mike. His nickname was Spanky, and big guy, really big guy. And he always spoke his mind. He had no filter, right? And I said something to him. I says, "You don't know me." And he goes, "I don't have to know you." And I'm like, that just stopped me dead in my tracks. What do I say? You know? And that's what, and he stopped. He said, "I'm you. I don't need to know you. I'm you." You know?
That solves it all. Yeah.
That solves it all.
Yeah.
That solves it all. It's like, oh, wow. Ugh. Okay. And then he gave me a bite of his burrito.
Very nice.
Well, the guy, there was a little staff lounge, you know, and then when I became a staff member, you know, he was still working there. And Spanky would come through the back door. I barely fit through the back door. I mean, this guy was huge. Mm-hmm. And he comes through the back door with bags of food from 7-Eleven. Bags, donuts, burritos, lots of burritos, you know.
Were they good burritos?
No, they were dog food burritos. But there's something about a good dog food 7-Eleven burrito. There is something about them. I don't know. They're kind of yummy.
Every once in a while, I crave like a good 7-Eleven burrito or a pizza. And, you know, everyone says like that's the worst place to get a pizza.
They're horrible. But, you know, I like to slice open the burrito and shove it full of cashews.
Mm.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
You're really
cashews
sick.
in your burrito. Oh, man.
So first you squeeze out all the grease? Like squeeze it out and then open it up and put the cashews in there? Because if you don't, they'll float, the cashews. They'll float in the grease.
You know what else is really, really good? Is a really good 7-Eleven, one of those big, giant hot dogs, and you get some popcorn and you cram it on the top of the hot dog and kind of squeeze it together so you get a little crunchy and a little oily. And
what is wrong with you?
Yeah, you really sick, bro.
You need to find another meeting, brother.
Yeah, exactly.
A whole different level here.
Yeah, I prefer this type of popcorn on my hot dog.
I got an OA to take the edge off.
9 out of 10 people says you use the buttery over Redenbacher popcorn on your hot dog.
You know what? We got this is totally off subject, but we got a theater here in town called the Pix Theater. Yes. And you walk, I mean, it's wonderful. There's one theater. They only play a featured film, and you walk in and you order your food, and it's good food too. I mean, it's probably not good for you, but it's delicious. They have like frozen bananas, with sprinkles or nuts, and they're huge, right? And they bring it to you. You get your little number, you sit in your seat, and it goes back, and the legs go up, and they're really comfy, and they bring it to you, and they serve it to you. It's amazing.
I'm calling Alicia.
Monty.
And then you eat your frozen banana and you fall asleep during the movie.
With everybody else with your snoring.
Listen, I could go to one of those action-packed flicks, right? And I could fall asleep and sleep through the whole thing.
Terrible, Monty. Terrible.
So let's get back to the subject real quick. And I got to ask this last question. What about sitting next to somebody you don't know? For instance, at the theater, our tendency, because most theaters now, they want you to pick a seat before you actually get in the room. So you pick, most people will try and pick seats that aren't next to seats that are already chosen. Mm-hmm. I've noticed that.
I feel like that's true of a lot of situations, like on buses too.
Buses, airplanes, things like that. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to be gut level honest here. How many times I've gotten on the plane and I'm praying that no one sits next to me.
Well, that's just because you need extra room. They're so small.
I have to get out that door, so stop it.
No, and I don't know why. Because I've struck up conversations on the plane with people and was really glad I did.
Mm-hmm.
But what is it when people sit next to you that you don't know and all of a sudden people clam up? They don't look at each other. I mean, it's kind of a phenomenon, isn't it? I mean, do you guys experience that?
And it's so much easier to do now because we have this electronic leash that provides us with all the entertainment in the world.
So we don't have to look at each other.
Yes, we don't even have to. We don't even have to be uncomfortable anymore. We can just go into our own little world. I think part of it is respect. Number one, if I get on a bus and there's all these open seats and I sit right next to the person where, so it might be a matter of respect. But I don't really mind sitting next to somebody I don't know. And it's because of that challenge I brought up earlier. See, now I have an opportunity to maybe make somebody's day a little bit better. So I'll ask basic questions like, how you doing today? What kind of work do you do? Oh, that's great. And
I'm a mass murderer, and I haven't killed anybody today, so I'm working on it.
You know what? That's fine because the odds of mass murderers being on the bus is pretty inconvenient. Sorry, that was a failed joke.
But I have a question or statement to make about this. When we're out there doing that, and we're engaging with somebody else, we're also doing service work, if you think about it, because we're trying to find out how they are, where they're going, how they've been, what they've been, and sharing of ourselves too, because we get that portion of engagement, guess what happens? The wonderful thing of becoming a friend to somebody that we wouldn't have normally done. So that's just my take on it.
Yeah, that was very true. Yep. Well, let's do that. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I feel special now.
You feel special. It is amazing, though, when you do strike up a conversation with somebody you don't know, how many people are in the recovery community.
Oh, yeah.
It is. It's interesting.
And it doesn't take long. You don't have to ask them.
Right.
Just the way they talk.
Yeah.
You're like, aha.
Their eyes. I usually look, you can usually see it the eye. If the FBI did what AA did, they have ears and eyes everywhere.
True.
Because we are everywhere. You can go anywhere and find a friend to build W.
Just remember.
Oh, I know.
Just remember this: when you're at an airport, you feel kind of shaky in your recovery. Get on the intercom, say, "Any friends of Bill W?"
I've heard that before.
Oh yeah.
They do that for us. Friends of Bill W. Meet over here.
Most airports have meetings too.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
They sure do.
Yeah.
So don't forget that, folks.
Yeah.
We're everywhere.
Yeah. Cool deal. All right. Closing thoughts. Kat, you first. Any closing thoughts?
No, I don't have any closing thoughts right now.
Okay. That's fair. Jack?
Yeah.
Thank you, Monty. It's been a great and wonderful journey so far, and I appreciate you letting me be here, sharing about being vulnerable. It's a hard subject sometimes to get out of, but doing what you do, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, you betcha. Dion? Give us your website again, too, please.
Trudgingtogether.org. Please visit it often, frequently. I go live a lot. You can always reach out to me at trudgingtogether@gmail.com. Another great show. Encouragement while you're out there. Sometimes I hear people in meetings and maybe they had a slip or they're having a hard time. Look for the progress in what they've done and let's encourage people a little bit that that this stuff is tough, but we don't do it alone anymore.
Yep.
That this is a we program.
Yeah. Amen. Roger?
Gosh, I think anywhere we can go and be a source of encouragement or a smile on somebody's face. I was thinking, though, about the airplane thing. Usually when I get on board an airplane, I have a list of things that I want to accomplish before I get off the plane. And so that sometimes sends me into sort of not being willing or being available to have conversations. And sometimes maybe I've had a busy week and I really don't feel like talking. So I'm going to turn on a movie and just veg out. Yeah. And sometimes I think other people may be in the same space. And I'll tell you, I've been annoyed by people who want to have a conversation for 2 or 3 hours. when I really don't want to. Now,
That
so sometimes I need to be in prayer about that and say, God, do I need to be listening and sharing with this person or not? Because sometimes whatever. That's just me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't want to be a downer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've definitely had plane conversations before, but that's usually the thing that keeps me from starting a conversation with someone on the plane is because I'm afraid that they don't want to.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I got a plane story to tell you, and I think Roger may have heard this before. So I'm on the plane coming back from I think it was Anaheim or something like that, one of the Came to Believe conferences that we did, Roger, and I'm on the plane, and this gal sits down. I'm in the window. I'm at the window. She's in the aisle, but before she sits down, she pulls out baby wipes, and she wipes down everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She'd wipe down the arm and the seat and the thing in front of her. And I mean, the seatbelt, she's going in the crevices of the seatbelt. I mean, she's really thorough. She's definitely a germaphobe. But I will tell you, planes are pretty unsanitary. Mm-hmm. So she's doing this stuff. And I'm thinking, wow, that's impressive, right? And she gets all done. She sits down. A couple minutes later, this guy, who is probably as wide as all three seats, sits in between us, right? And he does one of these. Yeah. You know, and I mean, his elbows are hitting both her and me, right? He pulls open his laptop. He puts the little tray down to the degree that he could get it down. He puts the laptop on, and he's really loud and just doing it, slapping. And then, this is great, he pulls out a bag of Cheetos, right? And he puts his hand in the Cheetos, and he does this. All over his face. He eats the whole bag. He opens the bag up more. He licks it. And I'm thinking this lady is going to have a stroke, right? And she's watching him, and she's looking at me like, help me, right? And I'm just like, not my beef, man. And he licks the bag, and then he blows his nose in the bag.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. It was hilarious, right? And he gets all done. He packs everything up, right? And he goes, and then when we land, I'm looking out the window, and all of a sudden I feel this hot air on my face, and I turn, and he's right there looking out the window, you know, doing this right next to my face. and I was so entertained by her look on her face and watching him go through this whole thing. How can you be mad about that? I mean, it was hilarious. I wish it was on camera.
I was going to say, it probably ended up on TikTok.
Yeah, you should have got your phone out. And
oh, my gosh. That guy was not afraid to be around people. He didn't care.
No, he was not.
All right. Thanks, you guys. Our closing song is by Dan Peek. You know who Dan Peek is? I know Roger knows who Dan Peek is. No.
I do not know who that is.
Dan Peek is one of the original members of America. America. Okay. Also a very committed Christian man who wrote a song that it's not that easy to find, this version of this song entitled Lonely People that America performed as one of their most popular songs.
You know this song.
Okay. But there's a version of it that a lot of people don't know about, and it's all about God. So here's Dan Peek as we close out this episode of the Take 12 Recovery Radio with Lonely People.
This is for all the lonely people until you drink from the silver cup and give your heart to Jesus Christ. Well, he's on his way. He's coming back someday. He's coming back to take us home. This is for all the lonely people, thinking that life has passed them by. Don't give up until you drink from the silver cup. He'll never take you down, no, he'll never give you up, but you'll never know until you try.
A special thank you to our intern Cass for joining us this week, Jack McCann, Dion Miller, and Roger McDermott. Until our next broadcast, this is the Monty Man along with the rest of the Take 12 Recovery Radio family, and we are wishing God's perfect serenity for each and every one of you.
Don't let the weights of the past keep you down. There's a melody here to turn it around. In each story and song you'll find a friend, a chorus of courage that'll never end.
This has been a broadcast of Take 12 Recovery Radio and KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.
Kitty, 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 kitty.
This has been a Chicken and a Pig production.